All right, guys, welcome back to the Regal Gentleman YouTube channel at the Regal Gentleman Studio. We've got Junaid in the chair. How are you, mate?
I'm good, thanks.
Nice, man. So what are we doing? What's the plan?
So I've been growing it out for about 6.5 months now.
Okay, nice.
I kind of want to keep it long still, so I want to have more shape in it because it's growing out quite thick and I'm not really able to like move with it. So I want to keep it quite long, but also have the option to wear it disheveled or also like kind of like neat as well.
Yeah. Sounds good to me, mate. Have you got an end goal? Are you still growing it longer? Is that the plan?
There's not really like an end goal. So basically what happened was I was watching Aladdin during lockdown.
Oh, yeah.
The cartoon.
Mate, Aladdin is in, not the new one, the old one.
The
old one. Okay, yeah. I know the new one off by heart because my kids love it, but
So I was watching that and I was like, you know what, his hair's kind of cool, so I thought I'd give that a go. So this is where I've got off to.
Yeah, just make sure no one starts calling you a street rat though. That's the one main thing you want to notice, right?
I'm going for the prince.
Awesome, mate. Okay, yeah, I do know what that hair is like actually, yeah. So the thing is as well, it's more slicked back as the prince, isn't it? It's more a bit looser, it's more brushed and nice more than disheveled, right? Well, the options are there, right? All it is product choice. That is literally all it is. So if you want to wear something a bit sort of smarter, you could use maybe like a paste in it. So you've got a bit of a low shine, so you can see that you've made an effort. The thing is when you've got really dark hair and you wear dry matte products, it can look a bit too messy, right? It looks like you haven't really made too much of an effort. So if you are doing something where you're smartening up a little bit, maybe you're in a smart casual look or you're wearing a suit, choose the product based on the look, okay? So if you want something a bit smarter, choose a smarter looking product like a paste or even a pomade if you're going down that route. But if it's just every day like you're in now, jeans, trainers, t-shirts, I think something quite loose is nice. You know, you could always have the contrast of smart with the casual attire, but I think sometimes it blends in a bit more if it's a bit more looser as well. So would you want to grow this much longer than it is now?
Only like slightly longer. I don't want it like shoulder length.
No.
But like
Maybe just a little bit longer at the bottom here.
Yeah.
Okay, because I think you could get away with a bit more length through here. Okay. I think it would balance a bit more. So what I think we do today is, again, we just cut shape into it. The thing that makes it look smart is if you cut it just slightly off, like where your sideburns are. You've done it already, to be fair, but just this little bit here, you just kind of tidy up, like just shape it a little bit around there. Because when the hair's sitting back over the ear, that's the bit you see. Okay, so just sharpen up the edges. That's one thing that makes it look nice and tidy. And we'll just go through it and we'll see what needs to come off. But essentially, you want to keep all the length, just cut it in a way that looks like it's meant to be like this. That's really all you want. Then what we'll do for texture, I'll use the razor for this because this is your hair. I mean, it's so thick. It's such good hair, man. Like, you know, this is like hair envy sort of thing. It's really dark in color. It's all consistent in color as well. Nice shine through it. And I think, you know, you've got to do it justice with the style that you go for. So if we can just thin it out, but use the razor to add like texture and direction and things that will really, really help you as well. But with the sides, I want to try and leave the length through the sides because they will be the first bits that are hard to style. They don't really sit anywhere at the moment. They're not too short to go behind the ear, but they're not long enough to sit right behind the ear. You know what I mean? So they're just in that kind of middle no man's land at the moment. So if we can try and leave as much length through the sides and we'll just break it up in between to make it a bit easier for you to wear so it's a bit thinner. And then what we can do towards the back, we can thin out the back a bit more because it is always the thickest at the back. Maybe take a bit off through here because it's quite long compared to the bottom. As you can see, there's quite a big difference in length, more the higher up you go. So we'll just shorten that down a little bit. And then obviously through the top, we'll just make sure it all balances through. And then we'll just texturize it. It's fairly less is more for this haircut, okay? So anyone watching, don't go to town on this because again, we haven't finished growing. We're still at that phase. So the more length you take off, the more you're gonna put, you know, the client back a few weeks or even a few months as well, okay? So for Junaid, he still wants to grow it out a little bit longer. He just wants to kind of smarten it up a little bit, have the option to do 2 styles, which you can. Again, like we said at the start, it's just pure product choice, that's all it is. So I don't want to be cutting too much texture through the back and sides because when he is wearing something a bit smarter, you want to make sure that it all sits back, doesn't kind of pop out or kick out anywhere. My only concern with the sides is that I want to leave that length in through here because at the minute from this side, with Junaid's sideburns being so short as well, it's really kind of noticing the back being a bit longer through there. So you see from that angle, it's looking like it's a bit sparse through here and the back's getting the thickness. So if we can try and make that look a bit more balanced, I think that's what we need to do. So I think if we leave the length on the sides, break it up, maybe just shorten this bit here, but leave the length underneath through here because that's kind of grown out a bit longer than everywhere else. So that little bit is a bit longer than the bottom. If we get rid of that, it'll balance a bit more. So if I kind of cover that up, you see what I mean? It kind of balances a bit more. That's essentially it then. Less is more. Get started, yeah? Cool. I'll gun you up. Right guys, we're going to start with a horseshoe for this one, okay? Because again, I want to isolate the back and sides to the top. It's all about working in stages when you're doing this kind of look, because we're not taking loads off, okay? So I want to work on the top last to connect into the sides and the back. Again, there won't be much connecting to do, hopefully, okay? Because I'm hoping the top isn't as overhanging as what I think it could be. It might well be, but it doesn't really matter. We're going to make that work anyway. Now, if you look, Junaid's hairline is quite low down here, so I'm going to use what is the most prominent line for the recession point is here. I'm going to work it up as well. So I'm going to drop it down slightly towards the front, only because it's so strong at the front. I'm going to drop it down like so. Later on the top, and then we're going to match it out to the other side now. Like that. I'm just going to clip that up. Like so. That's sitting nice now. It's all out the way. So again, I want to try and maintain as much length on the sides here. So very, very wide section. I just want to break up the middle of this here. So one section from just behind the ear, then one section from the front, from the temple, and bring it all into the middle. Now head over slightly for me. There we go. I'm going to pull this right into the middle. When I've been into the middle, right out. But when I pull this, Junaid, just try and keep your head nice and still and firm. So fight me when I'm pulling it. There we go. I'm pulling the section out. I'm just going to take a little bit off, okay? Just about that much. All right? Just to break it up. Pulling it straight out so it's not affecting the length at the bottom. There we go. So all that length has stayed the same. But as you can see, we've shortened little bits through here, so that's just going to move around a little bit. But it's not short enough that's going to pop out and stick out, okay? Literally just a tiny bit off. And there's a guide that I can use from behind it. And now I'm working straight down behind the ear now. So I want to just remove a bit of that length. So I'm going to go smaller sections now and start removing a bit of length, but still using the guide from the previous section, okay? So we can get away with taking length off this bit here. And also length, as we worked out, just on this side here, just at the corner. Pull that out, guide. There we go. It's just all long length, so you see it all moves at the same time. Now if you look at this side, it moves separately. Now see, the shorter bits will move, the longer bits will move as well. See the way it moves around a bit easier? That's all we're trying to achieve. So when Junaid wants to wear it messy or disheveled, you know, or whichever way you want to wear it, like a bit looser, it'll work because there's shorter layers in there. But when he wants to wear it smart, the layers are long enough to sit back. So keeping consistent with the sections. Pull it out, there's my guide. Just still keeping that longer layer through it as well. But there is quite a lot of length at the back here. If you have a look at that, when I keep it straight, that section pretty much matches the bottom. So now we're starting to balance this hair quite out now. So the bottom is the longest, through here is shorter, which makes it look a bit longer as well. As you can see, it balances to the bottom there. Pull that out, straight in the middle. Pull it out, there we go. Nice and straight. Pull it out and use a guide from here and pull it right into the middle, like so. As you can see, we take off pretty much what we took off the other side. There we go. What we've done is kept the length on the sides, shorten the back a little bit, so there's more movement towards the back, and kept that length all the way through. So as you pull it out to either side, you see that's the same length, either side there. Okay? Now what we'll do is, I'm just going to trim down the bottom because the middle of the neckline is quite long. So I'm going to take the middle up a little bit, because it looks a little bit too long compared to the sides. I'm just gonna bring this up a little bit, just very, like, probably to about here, and just straighten it all off, okay? Now we've cut the layers above it, it does look a bit too long towards the middle. Just following that neck collar. I'm going to cut it nice and straight to give a bit more structure to the ends, like so. Keep them sides sitting back like that. Trimmers just to shave the neck, get a bit of that loose hair through here, make it look a lot more natural to the bottom as well. Just shaving the neck hair, like so. There you go. You see that sits a lot more natural through the neckline now. So I always tend to work up into the neckline more than putting like a sort of a line in it, because it can look, you know, the line can look quite noticeable when the hair's hanging over it, whereas you just work up into the natural hairline, you can't see a line or anything, so the hair hangs more natural over it too. Just loosen this with your fingers just to get out of that horseshoe. There we go. Now what we'll do is we'll connect in the top, so just doing horizontal sections into the sides and vertical into the back, okay? All this does, it helps to balance the corners and leave the length predominantly through the top there. Take our section, pick it up. I'm just going to drop it down ever so slightly, like so, okay? There we go, use that as my guide. So as you can see, slightly down just to maintain length. Okay, we start in the middle and I work to either side. Go. There we go, use it from the left hand side. Same angle, like so. The fringe will fall nicer if we connect it as well. What you'll find is that falls back really nicely and connects in to everywhere else like that, but we still maintain that nice square shape. Working that right down across the top of the head, into the crown, into the back, like so. So take one section down first through your fingers and then up and scoop that guide from underneath. There we go. Now I'm going to point cut into this now. I'm point cutting into it because the hair is so thick and so straight. I think by the softer finish and the softer edge as we're working into the longer length, I think it'll sit just a little bit nicer for him. And it saves me having to go back over it as well. Pull that nice out and straight. See, nothing comes off there, so you always have a guide from that side as well. There we go. So imagine smarter product than that would sit nice and flat, and the sides aren't kicking out neither, because we'll get the length and the structure in there. If they were shorter, they'd just start popping out. Right, one section over the centre. I don't want to cut a centre part in this, so I'm going to work just past the centre. Past the centre. All the way down. Pull it over. Pull that straight out. Not much should come off, if anything, just a little bit. There we go, see, just a finer bit. Pulling it straight towards me, I'm not dropping it around, I'm not moving around. Pulling it straight out like that, not going to come off the front. There we go. Just a bit of water, that's holding in nicely for him. Now, same again the other side now. There we go, like that. Pull now, just drop it down a touch. There we go. So the first bit we cut nice and blunt for the structure, and then top layers we cut and point cut. So this side's just a little bit longer, but don't worry, remember we're following the guide, so we're going to be fine. It's going to match up either side. There we go. Next section, before the centre. Underneath is our guide, and point cut into this. Nice. There as well. Now last section just past the centre. Same as before, not much is coming off. So even though we took a lot more length off, we're still mimicking the other side. That's why it's always good to stay true to your guide. Trust your guide as well, don't panic. There we go. Now what we'll do through the top is we'll just make sure we'll maybe just point cut into the top a little bit. Like that, and just kind of point cut in a little bit. Let's just point cut in to break it up a little bit. Now as we get here, I'm going to start to connect the crown in a bit, so the length's coming off now. I'm going to get all the way through, fingers behind the comb, pick it up at the point I want to, just pinch it between your fingers, and then pull out, and what you'll have, angle, right, nice and straight, there. That's connecting your crown, everything's going to fall in nicely to there. Just point cut in, again very wide sections, just straight across the crown, take the point off, and then again do the same thing, pinch the hair behind the comb, lift it up, pull it right out, stand at the side, and there's your guide. So what you see, if you stand behind me, Liam, you see the way you see the hair, and there's no line, no step, just moves around nicely. Just going to point cut into it. Kind of split the crown, stand side on, and there's your connection point. And connect in. The round of the head at the back, and connect in. Now we'll work on the razor now. So, what I'm going to do now is just, I'm going to give it a little bit of lift, a little bit of movement, working from quite big sections, it's still quite long. I pick it up, I'm going to slide in to give lift, like that, okay? And just before the front, halfway up, like so. See a lot of hairs coming off, but it's so thick, we can really get away with it. And again, we're being sporadic, we're not just putting like lines of thinner hair in, we're making it work for this haircut, okay? We'll start to bring this like this and bring it backwards, like so. Angle the hair back, slide through, forcing that bit that over direction as you texturize it. There we go. Pick it up halfway through, slide up. Nice big section. Like so, and then just above the crown. Just thin out a little bit. I don't think we need to do any more. I think the weight needs to be in there to help it sit. That's it. How's it looking for you, mate? Yeah, cool, man. Just balanced it a bit more for you now. Feels a lot thinner. You see how much that moves around now.
There's a lot more movement. A
lot more movement to it, yeah. It falls either way now, see? Cool, man. What I'm going to do is I am going to dry a little bit of cream in this, all right? And the good thing is when it's towel dried, you could put this in damp and then comb it into place and leave it, right? Or you could let it dry naturally and then play around with it. But drying it in just sets it a little bit more for you, okay? So you want that disheveled look, it's perfect. And I think what you're wearing today, that disheveled look will look nice as well, because the smarter look is just better product and comb it through. There's nothing to it, it's very easy to do. Whereas the disheveled look is something that's really in your face. It's quite a strong look as well, all right? My hands and all the way through my fingers as well. And I'm going to apply it all over the hair. So just kind of shaking it all over like this. Through the side, through the back, and as you can see, towel dried, it's damp. That's the best time to apply it. It's much easier to apply a product as well. Working it right the way through. So as you can see, that product is getting in there, it's making it move. But I'm just going to dry it in now. I'm going to finger dry it in as well. I'm not going to use a brush. Okay, I want it to be very, very easy for you to do. There we go. So high speed, high heat to start with. Okay. Start at the front and just lift it up. And use that speed to brush and push that hair back. Okay. Head back as well for me a little bit. You see that's falling nicely, see? That little bit of extra hold from the cream is letting that sit nice. Just using the heat to push it back and let the nozzle do the work for me. So just try and sort of separate it with my fingers, just creating sections with my fingers. Very easy though. Just letting it fall how it wants to as well, working with the natural fall. And just trying it from right to left to right, just all over the place. Okay. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to tidy up the sideburns now. Just give it a bit cleaner finish. I'm just going to tidy up whatever coming over here like that. There we go, I'll do it for me a second. Just strengthening up the hairline there, like so. There you go, so you've still got all the hair that hangs over it, like so. But when you push that back and nice and tidy, it just gives a cleaner finish to the hair. All right, see that side compared to that side? Just gives a cleaner finish. So when you are wearing it smart, just gives you that option to do it as well. So pushing it back, and wherever's falling out naturally, the bit I'm going to take down. Right, now just to finish this off, I'm just going to put a little bit of styling powder in, okay? Just adds a little bit more texture to it, okay? What you do is sprinkle it over. So all you do is just shake your hair like that. What this will do is just give it a bit more shape and hold to this kind of more dishevelled look. And that coming over here a little bit, like so. And then that'll match up to the back. Now you've got a hairstyle that actually looks like it's meant to be there. How's that look for you, mate?
Yeah, I like it. So there's a lot more sort of style on there now than the last time.
Exactly. It was just one big long layer, wasn't it? Whereas now it's got a lot more texture. It's sitting a bit shorter towards the back here as well. So what you see from the back, you see the shape of the head at the back here, but you see all that movement and texture that we've put in as well. So it's not just like one long layered haircut. You can see the shorter elements in there as well, but it all balances as well. So I just went with your natural parting and just emphasised it a bit more. But as you see, you've got that weight on the sides. And if you were to slick it back, you use a stronger product and put it in and just work it all the way back. Use a brush or something like that. But when you're in a bit more dishevelled, let the sides flick out a little bit and let's not look like you tried too hard, you know? It's the whole point of the look, really. There we go, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.